achieving financial freedom. Now, if we were to say that you want to be financially free by 30 years old, 35 years old, most would say that that's probably a dream and it's not doable, it's impossible. But there's always a way. Making money and accumulating money and growing wealth isn't as difficult as you think if you go about it the wrong way. It's very easy to rack up interest, to gamble, to steal, whatever it is. But if we want to actually have barakah in our wealth, to grow wealth, which we also get rewarded for, then we have to make sure that we have the right intentions and we do it the halal way. So this is me explaining to you my idea of how I will attain financial freedom the halal way. So let's sort of redefine the meaning of financial freedom. Generally, when we say financial freedom, we mean we have millions in the bank or wherever, houses and cars and all that. But actual financial freedom is a lot deeper than that. And as Muslims, that's something we have to think about. Financial freedom should mean being able to live comfortably without worries about bills or rent, mortgages, anything like that. It's about providing for your family. It's about giving in charity, and it's about worshipping Allah in the right way, worshipping Allah in a way where we have no one to depend on but Him. So the key to attaining financial freedom as a Muslim is balance, essentially. Balance that you attain wealth without having any love for it. You attain wealth so that it benefits you and it supports you in things that you want to do, in things that you're responsible for. But we don't want to rely on it. We don't want that to be our only goal. We don't want that to be our motivator in everything that we do. That's not the aim. So we need that balance where we want wealth to achieve other stuff, but we don't want the wealth to control our lives. Within my path to financial freedom, and in yours too, the first step is to actually redefine what financial freedom means. We need to understand that our idea of the term financial freedom is different to the regular term, and it's different, and it should be different, because if we don't have that definition in mind where we've redefined it, it won't result in anything good as a Muslim. Now, the second step in my path would be to always only earn through halal means. So, like I mentioned earlier, it's very easy to store money in a bank and gain interest. It's very easy to give out loans and take more back. It's very easy to take out student loans for your studying. It's very easy to get a mortgage on which there's interest. And there's so many business ideas around, or business ideas which can make someone money, but they involve interest or they involve some form of business which has an aspect of haram in it. And essentially, we can't do that. So, how do we go about our path to financial freedom? It has to be through halal means. And if that means taking a lower paying job initially, or working before you start uni so that you don't need to take a student loan and you can pay for it yourself, or getting a halal mortgage for a house, or saving up money or crowdfunding from people that you know your community to buy a house, and the same for a business or wherever it is. Everything that we do, if when it comes to money, when it comes to wealth, building wealth, it has to be free of riba, completely free of riba. Right now, that's probably the biggest thing holding us back in terms of what's not allowed when it comes to money, riba. So we have to be very careful about that. And remember, you actively striving to avoid something which Allah has made haram will result in Allah giving you more barakah in everything that you do, in your wealth. You earn a smaller income because you chose a job that was halal, that there was no doubt in it. Then in turn, Allah will allow your income to have barakah in it. It will take you further. Now, the third step is probably a difficult one for most people, but for myself, I've been able to do this, and hopefully I'll be able to carry on doing this. But it's to live below your means, and it could mean budgeting as well, if that's what's needed. I know people don't like hearing the word budgeting and living below their means, but if you want to build wealth, if you want to save money, you have to start from the basics. And saving money is the basics. You want to put a deposit for a house, you need money. You want to put a down payment for a business, or wherever it is, you need money, you need capital. And even if we get a better job, our income rises, but then our expenses also rises, and that's a big mistake. As soon as someone gets money, all of a sudden they're like, oh, now I've got the money, I can start living like this, I can get a new car, I can get a new house, I can buy this, I can buy that, I can spend more money on this. Whereas in the previous lifestyle, which wasn't that much lower, was more than enough. Yet everyone always wants to improve without making sure that they have enough. You have to, the way you get those savings is by making sure you spend less than you earn. And that could be simple maths, it could be simple economics, whatever you want to call it. But that's the reality of it. If you're spending more than you're bringing in, then you're never going to save, and you're just going to keep losing money. So that's the third step in my path, in my plan to financial freedom, is I need to make sure that I always spend below my income. So my expenses are less than my income, and as a result, I'll have savings from that, or I can invest it, or there's multiple options after that. But I need to have that money, and that won't happen unless I save. So now, moving on from that, I mentioned saving, and from that, we invest. So that's the next step in my plan. What I do save, I will try to reinvest it into something else, into stocks, into digital currency like Bitcoin, into businesses, into real estate. But again, remember, it has to be Sharia compliant. If you actually go into investing, there's a lot which is haram, especially in the West. So you have to find out and do your research about what is halal, what can we invest in, what can't we invest in, and then do some more research and find out what's the best option for you. So right now, I'm investing in stocks and shares, digital currency, some real estate as well, but more into that probably in another video. And all of it is free from riba, free from interest, free from investing into companies which are doubtful, which invest in things which aren't allowed, and all that has to be taken into mind. So I've started that. I've been doing it for a couple of years, and inshallah I'll keep doing it, and hopefully it will help me grow my wealth in a halal way. Now, so we've got our initial income. So I've got my 9 to 5, my apprenticeship. That's bringing my income in, but one income isn't enough, especially something that trades time for money. So I need to come up with a plan to have side hustles and businesses, something that I can build initially to bring me more income, but then I can also allow it to run in the background and I don't need to put much attention to it. So in a way that I can still work my 9 to 5 and have an extra income coming in, and that way it can boost my income. It will in turn increase my savings, and cycle repeats. I can invest more and my wealth grows faster. It's just a whole circle, it's just a whole cycle, and that's the aim. Also, relying on a single income is very risky. What if I happen to lose my job, or wherever it is, I get fired, I can be made redundant. Maybe there's not enough demand in the industry. All this you have to take into account. So just having a side hustle or business, some extra skills that you can fall back on, it's all necessary, I would say, that to remove any risk of you not having any income, but to also give you a boost in bringing in some more income. So I am currently working towards that as well, and I won't be sharing any of that right now, but hopefully we'll see where it goes. The next plan is, if I get into debt, then I'll pay it off as soon as I can, because debt is something that really holds you back. And even the Prophet ﷺ he disliked debt a lot, and there are many du'as that we find in hadith that are there to ask for protection from the struggles of debt. The Prophet ﷺ, when someone would pass away, he would ask his family members or whoever, did that person have any debt on him? And if they said yes, and he didn't pay it off, Prophet ﷺ would refuse to read their janazah salah, just to show how important debts are and how important it is that you pay off your debt. We should try to avoid going into debt in the first place. But if you do, then make sure you pay it back as soon as you can. Credit card debt, again, about using credit cards, I'm not going to tell you what's halal and what's haram, but as soon as interest comes onto it, then automatically, without doubt, it's haram. So if you are going to use a credit card, then make sure you pay it off each month. Make sure you don't carry it any over, or wherever your policy is with that card. Make sure you avoid all interest on it and keep paying it off as soon as you can. If you have a mortgage or rent, make sure you keep paying those off each month. If you can pay some more, if you've got some extra money that you've got lying around and it's not doing much, then try and pay off your mortgage a bit quicker. But all these things you have to take it into account, because any debt that you have is sort of holding you back. You have to make sure that we don't have any debt left when we leave this world. There are ways of clearing debt that people have given advice on. I know one that sounds pretty good, the snowball method. If you have multiple debts from wherever, then work from the smallest upwards, but sort of pay a small amount for each and pay a bit more towards the smallest debt that you've got. And once that's paid off, the amount that you're paying towards the smallest debt, rack it onto the next smallest. So it'll be a bit bigger debt, but now you've got two sort of payments going towards that debt, which will help clear it faster, and you just keep snowballing it. So the amount that you pay towards each debt increases, essentially getting to the largest debt, where you're so used to paying off that amount of money that it won't make a difference all of a sudden when you've got large payments coming through to clear your debt. So look into that, the snowball method. But yeah, I think that's a pretty good method. And yeah, again, avoid debt, but if you can't, then pay it off as quickly as you can. That's the next step in my plan. And the final thing I'll keep in mind, and I'll remind you as well, if you're going to follow this plan, always pay your zakah. That's an obligation on everyone who has the means, who's considered rich enough, essentially. But it's a way of clearing and purifying our wealth. So there won't be any barakah in your wealth if you're not paying zakah. We earn income. We don't necessarily know where exactly that money's come from. We try our best to earn a halal income. Sometimes we don't earn that income in a halal way, if you understand what I mean. We might do something which results in our income being haram. We might unknowingly scam someone. We might not live up to the agreement that we made, or anything, and as a result, our income or a portion of it can be haram. So when we pay zakah, it purifies our wealth. So pay that 2.5% zakah, or make sure you research on how much you need to pay. Is different for what sort of wealth that you own. So gold, silver, all that's different compared to cash and wherever. And then different madhahib have different rulings. So make sure you look into that, ask a scholar. But make sure you pay your zakah and always give a little bit more. I try and do that as well. So in case you miss something, then at least you've given a little bit extra, so you know that it's covered. With zakah as well, regularly give sadaqah, because charity helps a lot. If you have sin, the advice is give in charity. If you want something, give in charity. If you want more wealth, give in charity. Charity can solve a lot of problems. So give your money into charity. It doesn't have to be a lot, just a little bit each month, but regularly. Make sure it's regular. Inshallah, I'll keep that in mind as well. And that's sort of my vague plan currently to achieve financial freedom, hopefully by the age of 30, inshallah. We'll see where we go from here. Right now I'm 22, so I've got a plan. Hopefully you can make a plan to make it unique to your own situation and what you're capable of. Again, as a Muslim, keep everything in mind, keep our rules in mind, keep everything that is an obligation to us in mind, and don't move forward unless it's what we should do as a Muslim. And I'll leave this video at that. Assalamu alaikum.